Well, my name is Antonio Cañones, and I'm the next speaker for the next 20 minutes. And I'm going to talk about a low-resource cloud deployment that it's like what uses we can give for OpenNebula in a bunch of desktop PCs or in using a little infrastructure. I have a web page where I document how to install OpenNebula, extending the documentation in the official website that you can choose between databases or storages and different technologies. And I'm documenting here a concrete installation with NFS, talking about what is every option, so anyone could install it and get an instance running for testing. And later on, I will document how to change from NFS to Cluster or anything, just for making it easy for newcomers or for anyone. I'm going to talk about my user experience and later talk about what users I think that can be applied to that kind of infrastructure. About a year and a half ago, I was working on AGESIC, that is an agency of Uruguay that works about the IT government. It gives information technology to the people. We had a data center. There is a data center there that runs on VMware, and the most visible part of the agency, the most important activity, is that it offers a cloud that any section or ministry can use. And it's a state-of-the-art cloud with the latest versions. It's quite a piece of technology. And we were very proud, and that we talk about our cloud very proudly, and the people joke about, one day if the cloud goes down, we're going to die. That was a joke, and now do you know what happens sometimes? That things happens. We have a major incident, our main data center went down, and every VM that wasn't in production and using by the public in front of developers, some VM have a life cycle, and that's production. The developers have to work. We had to get rid of everything that wasn't in use by the public. And I was the sysadmin of the agency, and I was the only sysadmin because it's more like a project manager profile. Everything is outsourced. So when this happens, there were some projects in the roadmap that must continue. So they asked me, well, what can we do? Do you have any idea? Well, I think that we could take a bunch of computers that we have on the storage and say, well, I can install OpenNebula here and go along with some projects. And then, before I make a little investigation and research, I looked at OpenStack and some other things. And I think that has been said before here. It's simple and it runs very well, and I make it run very fast, and everything could continue, and almost no more problems. That was a relief, and that has a lot of advantages, not only for that point of view that we can continue for some new developments, but it demonstrates that it could make some more things. And one of the things it helped us, the incident passed, everything come to normality, the projects were uploaded to the main VMware data center cloud. And I keep my cloud because it demonstrated that it was very useful. And this profile we had in the agency of a lot of project managers and just one sysadmin is that we have a lot of tickets and a lot of bureaucracy. We had to plan the time to invest in tickets for every project. Sometimes it was a nightmare. You have to have everything outsourced. We have to write tickets to person, team, companies, and that was a nightmare. And what the main thing I use OpenNebula help me and help us is that bunch of desktop PCs, that small deployment I had in my own office next to me, without ACAs, firewalls, make everything work smoother. It was like pure DevOps. You know, the programmers come, sit next to me. I have the other project managers near, so we can ask and talk with them directly. And the cloud, well, that little cloud, Mininube is little cloud in Spanish, became like very useful, and that's why I start documenting how to do it, and that's what I'm talking. It has some good things. I have brought just a little technical details because, like the VMware data center was outsourced, I didn't have permissions, administrator permissions on it. We had to convert the VMs. I wanted to work with KVM and VMware Works with VMDK. So, well, it was just a matter of installing a Linux machine comutils and converting the image from VMware to the KVM format and working with it, and later, well, uploading again. That was very easy, just a little more process. You get the image from the data store. You know, well, it's persistent, not persistent. You convert the image. You make a new, with the VMware player, now I think it's called Workstation. Just initiate a new VM with installers later, and the disk not split in various files, just in one file. Then substituting the disk and powering on the VM, and just later generating the OVF with the overflow tool, command line tool that is installed along with the workstation. Well, the DevOps cloud, the little cloud we had in our office, it's very useful when you have this kind of bureaucracy you have to deal with. But there are also other uses we can give to it. For testing, I know everyone, if you have a big enterprise, if you want to deploy a data center, you study what the solution you have in the market, and you can install and try OpenNebula without spending much money and resources, and that's the thing you can do with other solutions. And for a big enterprise, the DevOps cloud is useful too. Then if we get in a smaller scale, we have a community or a startup or a family that will need to have some servers. Well, they can fit on a small deployment. You can't have in a bunch of desktop PCs a lot of charts of users, but you can host your ERP, a document management system, your web page, and all those services. And a sysadmin, or a hacker, or anyone that likes to work with computers, I have a dedicated server rented where I install OpenNebula, and I have my website and some service I like to use for news or whatever. And that's a little cloud I'm using for me because I like it. And I think it's a little linked too with all this new philosophy about the makers, do it yourself. Now everyone with Arduino can make his other printers or whatever. And it's like a do-it-yourself cloud. If you want to have the advantages, you want to learn, you can use it, of course, for other things. You can do it. It's a thing that OpenNebula and open source has made possible. And, well, I think it's cool to have it at hand. And that's it. Any questions?